Before you ate lunch today, you were already influenced at least 4 times by psychological principles you probably didn't notice. The algorithm that showed you something designed to make you feel a certain way. The product placed at eye level so you'd grab it without thinking. The body language you mirrored from someone confident in the room without realizing you were doing it. The middle option on the menu you chose because it was framed to feel like the safe, reasonable choice. These are not conspiracy theories or manipulation myths. They are documented, reproducible psychological phenomena that work on virtually every human brain, including yours, including mine. This video is going to show you exactly what they are, how they work, and how to use them consciously instead of being used by them unconsciously. Psychological trick number 1, the Ben Franklin effect. Benjamin Franklin, yes, that Benjamin Franklin, documented this phenomenon in his autobiography. He had a political rival who disliked him. Instead of trying to impress this rival, Franklin asked to borrow a rare book from his personal library. The rival, slightly flattered, lent it. Afterward, he was significantly warmer toward Franklin. The psychology: when we do something for someone, our brain needs to explain why. The most comfortable explanation is, I must like this person. Cognitive dissonance pushes us to align our attitude with our behavior. The practical application: if you want someone to like you more, don't do them a favor. Ask them for a small one. It sounds counterintuitive because it is. That's why it works. Psychological trick number 2, the door-in-the-face technique. Here is how it works. You ask for something much larger than what you actually want. The person refuses, obviously, it was too big. Then you scale back to your actual, reasonable request. And here's what happens in the other person's brain: they feel guilty for the refusal, and they perceive your smaller request as a concession on your part, which triggers reciprocity. They feel they should meet your concession with one of their own. Researcher Robert Cialdini documented this with extraordinary consistency. People are significantly more likely to agree to a moderate request when it follows a large one they already refused, compared to being asked the moderate request cold. The contrast effect plus reciprocity creates compliance. This is used every day by negotiators, salespeople, charities, and anyone who knows it. Psychological trick number 3, mirroring. When you subtly and naturally reflect another person's body language, their posture, their pace of speech, their gestures, something remarkable happens in their brain. The mirror neuron system, which evolved to help us understand and connect with others, picks up the similarity and generates a subconscious, "this person is like me" signal. And "like me" is one of the brain's fastest trust shortcuts. FBI negotiators are trained in this. Therapists use it. Elite salespeople use it. The critical word is subtly. Obvious mirroring reads as mockery. Natural mirroring, with a slight delay, with genuine attention to the other person, reads as deep connection. Try it in your next conversation. Gently match someone's energy, pace, and posture. Notice what happens to the warmth of the exchange. Psychological trick number 4, and this one is so simple that most people dismiss it before understanding how powerful it actually is: using someone's name. Research in neuroscience has consistently shown that hearing your own name activates brain regions associated with self-referential processing more strongly than virtually any other auditory stimulus. Your name is the word your brain is most specifically tuned to detect, even in a noisy room, even when half asleep. The practical application is almost embarrassingly simple: use people's names in conversation. Not constantly, that reads as sleazy. But deliberately, at the start of a message, after making an important point, when acknowledging something they've said. Dale Carnegie documented this effect nearly a century ago. Neuroscience confirmed it decades later. Every person's name, to them, is the most important word in any language. Psychological trick number 5, strategic silence. The average person is deeply uncomfortable with silence in conversation. The brain interprets conversational gaps as social failure and immediately moves to fill them. Elite negotiators know this and weaponize it. After asking a question or receiving an offer, they simply stop talking. Completely. Comfortably. The silence creates psychological pressure on the other person. It feels like a vacuum that demands to be filled. And the person feeling that pressure typically fills it by elaborating, softening their position, offering more information, or making concessions they hadn't planned to make. The principle works in negotiations, interviews, difficult conversations, and anywhere you need more information than you're being given. Ask the question. Then stop talking. The silence is not empty. It is doing the work. Psychological trick number 6, the scarcity principle, and this one is used on you so constantly that once you see it, you cannot stop noticing it. The human brain is hardwired with loss aversion. We feel the pain of losing access to something roughly twice as strongly as we feel the pleasure of gaining it. This means that making something appear scarce, limited time, limited stock, exclusive access, doesn't actually increase its objective value. It increases the psychological pain of potentially missing it. And the brain responds to that pain signal by dramatically increasing how desirable the thing suddenly feels. This is why only 3 left in stock works. Why offer expires Friday works. Why exclusive membership works. The thing hasn't changed. The threat of losing access has been introduced. Knowing this doesn't make you immune to it, but it does give you a half-second pause to ask. Do I actually want this, or do I just not want to lose it? Psychological trick number 7, and it is the most important one on this list because it underlies all the others, framing. The way information is presented changes how the brain evaluates it completely independently of what the information actually says. The same surgical procedure described as having a 90% survival rate versus a 10% mortality rate generates dramatically different emotional responses, despite being mathematically identical. The same request framed as, most people in your situation do X, feels different from, some people choose not to do X. The same price framed as, only $2 a day, feels different from, $700 a year. The fact hasn't changed. The frame around it determines what the brain does with it. Once you understand framing, you start hearing it everywhere, in news, in advertising, in how people present their arguments in meetings, in how you talk to yourself about your own life. 7 psychological tricks, each one backed by decades of research, each one happening around you every day, each one usable by you starting immediately. The Ben Franklin effect, ask for small favors to build genuine liking. The door-in-the-face technique, start big, then go real. Mirroring, reflect body language to build trust naturally. The power of names, use them deliberately, not constantly. Strategic silence, let the other person fill the gap with what you need. Scarcity. Notice when loss aversion is being triggered in you. And framing, understand that facts are neutral, and the frame around them does the emotional work. You didn't just learn 7 tricks. You learned to see the psychological layer underneath every social interaction you'll have from today forward. That layer was always there. Now you can read it. Which one surprised you most? Tell me the number in the comments. And share this with someone who will use it well.